Hello, and welcome to U-Talk. I'm your host, Ryan Funk. U-Talk is a program dedicated to diversity, highlighting native-born and new Canadians' cultures and experiences. If you identify as LGBTQ+, it can be incredibly nerve-wracking when expressing who you are to society. The decision to come out of the closet can be even more challenging when you're concerned about coming out will not be accepted by your family or community. Pinoy Pride Vancouver is a social and support group for the Filipino-Canadian LGBTQ+ community, their families, friends, and supporters. They work with a community steeped in traditional values and work towards understanding and acceptance. Virgil Hilario is the co-chair of the board and tells us more.
Because I want to contribute whatever I can to the Filipino LGBTQ community, and it being in this society allows us to give a voice to all these people who would never be able to speak up regarding important issues like injustice and all the different issues that we deal with as Filipino LGBTQ members, and it's very unique experience. Being a Filipino and LGBTQ is different from other LGBTQ communities because there is a big culture and religion actually affects the decisions that we make as LGBTQ members.
Mm-hmm. I had talked to someone before that is part of the LGBTQ community and also Filipino, and they were talking how the Philippines is incredibly conservative, and that kind of affects that whole community.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have a member. They're a couple, a lesbian couple, and I've been talking to them since before they actually got married. And one of the issues the partner was having was because the partner wouldn't introduce her to the parents, to the family, and she was spending too much time with the family as well. And because even though there's love between the two, it's the how the family sees the couple plays a lot into how they're going to be accepted. If you're not accepted by the family, it's a big deal because it weighs a lot on your decisions. We respect the family a lot. As much as we are LGBTQ and we probably have strong feelings for one another, we still take a lot of consideration as to how the family will react to the partnership,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you have those strong family ties, it's really hard, and you don't want to cause a fissure there.
No, family matters a lot to us. So we have to, being in a society, a Vancouver Pride Society, allows us to maybe guide these people more and at least advise them, give them advice on how to deal with these kind of relationships, their kind of relationships, to give them support. I think that's the best thing we can do, and that's why it's important for us to be around, is to be able to provide support for these people, especially the younger ones. Mind you, even the older ones need a lot of support. Yeah, it's because of the whole family thing. It probably takes us a lot longer to decide to come out of the closet. So we have a lot of people who are like, 50, 60 years old who still haven't come out of the closet because of the whole family thing,
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good to know that there's an organization there that is there to, answer questions, show support, become a community.
And that's basically what we're there for, to provide support and also to sometimes to provide space for these people so they can be who they are and be comfortable in who they are with their loved ones.
You mentioned a little bit about the Vancouver Society is there to be that support and that community. Can you go a little bit into the history of the organization and just maybe a little bit more in depth about the work that it does?
Pinoy Pride Vancouver Society was created in May of 2011. And it was actually created by NDP MLA Mabel Elmore, who's an openly lesbian Filipino-Canadian politician. And so she decided it was time to have a Filipino LGBTQ organization. And what we do is we participate a lot in the annual Filipino Independence Day celebrations. And also we participate in the annual Vancouver Pride Parade. Aside from that, we also do the Dyke March and the AIDS Walk. We have also held some social activities like Mabuhay Dance Party and the Kaboom Pride Party, which also showcases Filipino talent, LGBTQ talent. And we also have a regular radio show that we host, and that's how we can promote Filipino LGBTQ members of the community who are contributing significantly to the community. And so we showcase those people on our radio show. And also we also promote Filipino culture. It allows us to promote Filipino culture, and we also collaborate with other Filipino organizations in a lot of the activities. A couple of years ago, we also hosted a panel discussion after the screening of Call Her Ganda at the Vancouver Queer Film Festival. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that story. When Jennifer Laude, who was a Filipino transgender, was murdered by a American soldier or a Marine, I think. And so
I think Alex was telling me a little bit about that.
Yes. Yeah. So we did that. And I think that was one of our most important activities. We also did a dialogue on racism, oppression, and internalized racism after our annual general meeting this year. So we want to hold, I think, another session of that next year.
I was just going to ask, how long have you been involved?
So just to talk over the topics. I think I've been there since 2013, around that time. So, but not in this capacity, because there was other people who were ahead of me. So I've just recently been really active in working with the society.
During your time from 2013 to now, how have you seen things maybe in the organization change, or maybe just in the culture change over those years?
Well, I think now we're beginning to get a lot more involvement from the younger group, which is what we really need. We want to, I think going ahead, what we want is really have the younger group involved in the society, whereas before it was the older members. So, but now I think we're lucky that we're getting the younger group involved.
You touched on it a little bit, but why is it important to have a Pride Society?
I think it's important to have a Pride Society because it allows us, again, to voice our opinion, to express our ideas, and regarding issues that are relevant to the community. Mainly, it provides us with a voice to let our voices be heard.
And I guess having those voices are incredibly important, especially for visible minority communities. We talk about LGBTQ plus
Yes,
representation, but being a visible minority, you're also dealing with that whole other avenue as well.
exactly. Especially now when you have um, racism again is being a relevant issue these days. So we try to be involved in all the. We are actually getting involved with other Filipino organizations right now in tackling that issue.
Has there been any movements or kind of discussions in order to work at opening up kind of the more conservative ideologies of the Philippines?
We are. It is one of the things that we're looking at. We need to address that issue. Actually, we one of the upcoming projects we have is to train the staff at the Ministry of Housing in how to deal with LGBTQ members. Um, I think that's one step towards that because there's still a big pushback with regards to the older. I mean, older than well, we're talking older. We have a lot of Filipino organizations are composed of the older members of the community, and that's who we deal with, right? So it's important for us to start opening their minds as to who we are and how to deal with us and to treat us with respect.
You mentioned that you do these talks on racism. Can you go into a little bit more detail onto those and the work that you do there?
Yes, we actually collaborate with other organizations. So one organization we actually deal with is Tulayan, and also we actually and Daloy Puso. We have other organizations that are, and I think they're also dealing with the government. The government has also set up these talks, so they've called upon other organizations to speak up and be part of the dialogue. So we're part of that. We're trying to be part of that.
Yeah. So what do those sessions kind of look
So
like? What is that dialogue going on in there?
actually, that hasn't
Oh, it
started.
hasn't
We're
started yet.
actually
Okay.
we did have one during our meeting, and one of the what we do is we try to figure out how we have to deal with racism. Like we try set up scenarios and then try to ask for opinions on suggestions on how you deal with this kind of incident. Um, and so, yeah,
Can you give me maybe an example of one of those topics or scenarios? What they would be?
there was a there was a video that became kind of popular recently about a son, a Filipino son, who posted a video of her mother, and because of the way the mother speaks, we brought up the fact it raised the questions on whether it was that a racist a racial attempt, or was it is it racist because what the son tried to point out was how the mother actually had the accent.
Mm-hmm.
So he was asking the mother all these questions, like say YouTube, and so the mother would say YouTube, or say something. I forgot what the other words were, and so he was trying to make it look funny.
Yeah.
He was trying to make it look funny that her mother was having this accent and how different she talked, and so that was we had a discussion on that, and how other people felt. Was it, do you feel it is racist? Was it a racist video? And so, yeah, so those one of the dialogues that we had was something like that. Um, and I think that was just our PPVS. But these other talks that are going to happen are organized by the government.
Okay. Very cool. So, when
Yeah.
it comes to just the LGBTQ plus and Filipino community, what are some things that you would like to see moving forward? You know, we're in a fresh new year, 2021. What are some things you'd like to see addressed? Any concerns? Just moving forward, building these communities and connections.
I really want to. I want to really focus on the youth, and whatever the concerns are, and basically what of course the youth is the coming out issues coming out and giving them more support, um, because there's still issues on the suicides and all those things that are going on. So I think I want those addressed. We have to give them, empower these people, empower the younger generation, so we can reduce the number of suicides. I think that's one of the things I want to address. And also, again, well, the racism, where it's rearing its ugly head again, and it's something that we need to address now before it gets worse.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about at this time? Anything with the organization, any upcoming events, or just things that you're seeing within your community?
Well, we also have we try to be part of the whole community, because there's a big there's a lot of Filipino organizations, and it's always been there's this thing about well, the Chinese society has their community center, and it's always been issue on the Filipinos having a community center. We've been trying to get that done before, and it's still an issue. So we're trying to be part of that. We're also trying to promote the education of the kids here on the Filipino language. So we want to promote that as well. But also in the coming year, we're also going to do. I think we're trying to get a grant from Surrey, so that we can do our empowerment series, which would be available to all the different organizations, and as to how to hold a board meeting, their roles, responsibilities, or something like that. So we try to collaborate with other organizations in the community. So hopefully things will get better, and we can sort of go back to as normal as we can, so we could actually put these other projects into effect and implement them.
It really sounds that the work you're doing, working on these social issues, but at the same time, it sounds like you're still trying to stay connected within that Filipino community and culture, like in preserving the language and keeping those familial ties.
Yes, because that's part of the culture, and that's the unique issues that we deal with as a Filipino LGBTQ society.
All right. So where can people go to find out more information about the Pinoy Pride Vancouver Society?
We do have a Facebook account under Pinoy Pride Vancouver Society, and we also have an Instagram account, and we have a Twitter account at Pinoy Pride Van. So
Perfect.
and or they could tune in to CFRO Radio 100.5 FM on during the first Saturday of each month, where we have Pinoy Rainbow at Jeepney Cafe.
So what kind of things do you usually talk on that radio station?
We usually promote Filipino artists, or some whatever. If there's some relevant issues that have come up, we try to promote people who are dealing with those social issues. Again, our musicians. We also promote, of course, our Filipino music, because it's radio. So also all sorts of things that we can do. There's so much we can do. That's why we love having the radio program, because it allows us to to do a lot of things and accomplish a lot of things through radio. A lot of interviews with prominent. We have prominent Filipino figures coming in and talking on several topics, like when we have the annual recipients of the Marshall McLuhan Award.
Okay.
We feature those people. So it's very interesting.
Oh, it's very exciting. It seems like you're very busy over there at the organization.
We are very busy with a board member of like 6 trying to get all these things done.
I guess just kind of a follow-up question. The organization seems like it's really trying to, reach out to the younger generation. Why do you think they're a little hesitant to, get involved?
Because they really, I don't think there's maybe a gap still, because it's an older group. A lot of organizations, Filipino organizations, are handled by older, and a lot of these people try to hold on to the positions that they have, and maybe they have this, they have that there's a gap, and that's why we're trying to get more younger people in order so maybe they can relate to the younger people. If we have more younger people, then they can relate to these people easier. Maybe it's because they just can't relate to us, and I think they seem to have maybe like, we need to find out what other issues they're interested in. Maybe we need to provide you maybe that's what we need to do. What do they want? We just need to figure out what the issues they're concerned with are.
Just kind of bridge that gap a little bit.
Yeah, because it's different. But they have different issues, so we need to figure out what they are and try to see if we could reach out to them.
If you have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight, leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.